In landscape photography, the line between success and failure so often depends upon the weather. Now, I'm the first person to say that bad weather conditions often lead to some of the best and most interesting images, and I will always try and go out and shoot whatever the weather. Sometimes, however, it can just be too challenging to make conditions work, and our visit to Paradise in Glenorchy proved to be one of those more challenging days.
So we're just on our way from Queenstown to Glenorchy, and it's in the middle of the afternoon, it's about 4 o'clock. And this is a good example of why you shouldn't rule out photography in the middle of the day, because when you've got overcast skies like we've got today with the odd gap in the cloud, you can create some just incredible soft light on these mountain peaks. And this place is it's just breathtakingly beautiful. It's absolutely amazing. They filmed a lot of Lord of the Rings down here, and you can really see why. It's just got that feel about it. The clouds sort of over the tops of some of the mountains are just creating these wonderful, beautiful views, and we're so pleased we've got this 400mm lens with us because it's just ideal for this kind of photography. Hannah's got the camera out now. She's just doing some zoomed in telephoto shots, and I'm probably going to go and have a go myself in a minute, but oh, it's just amazing here. It's absolutely stunning.
We've just stopped on the way towards Glenorchy because the sun's come out and it is absolutely beautiful. It's catching the snow on the tops of the mountains, and yeah, absolutely stunning. So we're both kind of fighting over using the telephoto lens, well, taking some turns in a nice controlled fashion. Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous here.
On the drive up towards Glenorchy, the conditions were looking ideal for photography. The mountains were free from cloud, and it looked like we'd have some really good shots that evening. We parked up the car and we started to hike up the river to see if we could find some good locations for a nice photograph. Sadly, as we were approaching the spot that we were aiming for, the clouds rolled down the valley and the hail hit us. We had to return to the car for shelter.
So we've just been defeated by the weather. We started to head up the edge of the river up in Paradise, and the mountains were looking absolutely beautiful. It was absolutely stunning, and I was thinking, wow, we're going to get some really nice images from here. And then all of a sudden it just flipped, and this deluge of hail came up the valley, and as you can see now we're back in the car again. We had to beat a hasty retreat. Hannah had just seen a brown hare and had tried to take a photo of it, and we had all the camera gear out, so we just had to whack it all back in the car and run back to the car. Luckily we hadn't gone too far from the car, but we're slightly worried that this might be the weather now settled in for the evening, so we might not get any photographs at all, which is a real shame because those mountains were looking stunning. We were just on our way up to go and photograph them, and I was thinking, we're gonna, if only like I got the cameras out maybe half an hour earlier and just started taking some telephoto images, we would have got some absolutely stunning shots. But as it is, that's how it goes, I guess. So the weather's now turned in. We're gonna wait here, give it another half hour or so. It's actually not far off golden hour time, so unfortunately it might not work out, but we'll see how it goes, and hopefully the weather will clear a bit. I'm absolutely determined not to let this weather defeat me, so it's actually stopped raining a little bit, so we've driven back to where we were earlier, and although those beautiful mountains which were clearly visible earlier on are now covered in cloud, I think we might be able to still squeeze some moody shots out, and fingers crossed, you never know, these clouds might lift up a little bit. So with sheer determination we've come back, and we're going to see if we can squeeze some more shots out of this evening. So this is a classic example of just trying to make the best of a bad situation. we're pretty much lost for light now. I've dashed up here as quickly as I could, but I haven't really even had much time to sort of form a composition. I've just whacked the camera on the tripod, done it completely how I would normally hate to do it, but I've got this river creating this S-bend there, and the mountains in the background. It's such a shame that the light just didn't work this evening, because this would have been absolutely gorgeous with those dramatic mountains in the back. But I've taken an image anyway. It's very simple. I've not even had time to get the filters out. It's just no filter. It's still raining as well, so I'm having to contend with a little bit of rain on the lens. But yeah, tough one. But anyway, I've managed to take an image. I'm just going to take the one image, I think, and we've now lost the light. The sun set, so I think it's just time to call it a day, cut our losses and get back to the hotel. Never mind.
The following day, the weather conditions were looking amazing, and it was with a heavy heart that we left Queenstown. When Hannah and I book these trips, we normally like to give ourselves at least a couple of days in each location so that we maximise our chances of being able to capture some good weather during our time there. Unfortunately, we'd only had time this time round to spend just one day in Queenstown. As the sun was out, we took the drive down towards Te Anau, and we decided to take a long detour down a long gravel track road. And the reason for this detour was that we wanted to go to a place called Mavora Lakes. Now, Mavora Lakes was an area I'd always wanted to visit, and the reason for that was because I'm a big Lord of the Rings fan, and Mavora Lakes is used as a filming location in a lot of those films. So we turned off the main road towards Te Anau and headed along the track.
This morning we set off from Queenstown, and we're on our way now to a place called Te Anau, which is going to be our base for the next 4 nights. And we're taking a little bit of a detour. We've come up to this point called Mavora Lakes, and the reason I wanted to come to Mavora Lakes is actually because I'm a big Lord of the Rings fan. I read the book sort of every year, but obviously coming to New Zealand has always been a bit of a dream of mine, because I'm such a big fan of the films. And this point here called Mavora Lakes, it's sort of between Queenstown and Te Anau, is used it was used as a filming location in a couple of the films. So that's why I wanted to visit this spot, because it's just somewhere I've always wanted to come. We're here in the middle of the day, so I hadn't really planned to do much in the way of photography, but we've just stopped off at this lake. We're not actually at Mavora Lake yet, we're just at the turn off to it. And I just love these trees. I love this lake here with the sort of lumps of grass in the margin, so I might actually get the camera out and see if I can get a couple of daytime shots here as well. So we've just stopped off here at the first of these Mavora Lakes, and it is breathtaking here. It's absolutely beautiful. And we've got this place completely to ourselves at the moment as well. It's so quiet, so peaceful. It's
gorgeous.
Yeah, we could just sit here for hours. It's amazing. So for this shot, I can't help but get the tripod out. This is just unreal, this place. It's completely unbelievable. It's so beautiful. So I've decided to take a shot, even though it's probably the worst time of day possibly to take photographs. I just couldn't help taking a shot of this composition. We've got this nice tree sat here right on the edge of a lake, and it's just so beautiful. What I've gone for is I've got a 10-stop filter on, and even with a 10-stop filter it's so bright that it's only giving me a 4-second exposure, so it's not even that long an exposure. And I've also added an ND grad on there as well, just to bring the sky down a little bit, because the sky is just so bright. But yeah, even just for a record shot, this is just this place is amazing.
At the end of the track, we finally arrived at North Mavora Lake. This was the location used at the end of the Fellowship of the Ring and was a location I had always dreamt about visiting. Mavora Lakes had more than made up for the bad weather we'd experienced in Glenorchy, so we took a walk along the beach and just soaked it all in before continuing our drive south.
So it's been amazing to visit these locations. I've wanted to come here for absolutely years, and yeah, it's just, I'm kind of lost for words of just how beautiful it is here. It's absolutely amazing. So we're now going to head back to Te Anau, and then hopefully the day after we'll be heading out towards Milford Sound. So I hope you guys will come with us on those trips, and we'll see you next time.